Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Michelle Jones, and I am so excited to have you all. Welcome. I am coming to you from the relaxing place of Fiji, where people come to actually give themselves a bit of a mental break. And this is great opportunity to talk to you about your brain and how you can best support your brain. So let me just put that slide in. Awesome. Okay, so again, in this day and age where everything seems to be happening very quickly in different parts of our world, in different, you know, spaces in our life, I think the really important question to ask everyone is, how have you been dealing with your brain? Have you guys been experiencing brain fog? Have you guys had trouble sleeping, low energy, mood swings? Do you get frequent headaches? Or are you even just struggling to stay focused during the day? In any of those situations, you need to actually look at what is happening with your brain. So, if any of those situations sound familiar, this session is for you. So, go and grab yourself a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, a glass of water, sit back, and let's dive into some simple, natural ways to boost your brain health starting today. Also, if you know someone who's been feeling off mentally or emotionally, share this with them. Or better yet, hit that watch party on Facebook and experience this together. Let's spread the wellness. Today, we are going to be diving into practical, natural, and science backed ways to take care of the most important asset in your body, your brain. Whether you're looking to sharpen your focus, strengthen your memory, or simply feel more energized and clear headed every day, this presentation will give you the tools to get started. Now, this is going to be a two-part presentation because there's just so much that needs to be shared with you about how best to actually boost your brain. So, we'll be exploring powerful herbs and teas, key nutrients, simple daily habits, and even uncover some of the hidden toxins that may be silently affecting your brain. So, we're going to get started. And before we do, let me just say, yes. Hello, Connie from Jakarta. Um, I am using this platform for the first time, and I am told that all the comments will just go on the screen without me needing to actually press any buttons. I'm hoping that that's the case. So, again, hello, Connie. Thanks for joining. So, as you guys jump in, just say hello and share your thoughts. Okay, so let me share my next slide. Awesome. Again, bear with me. As I said, I am using this platform for the first time. And, sometimes it can be a little bit daunting when you're doing stuff like that. Anyway, before we begin, I'd love to quickly introduce myself. I am Michelle Jones, an alternative medicine and anti aging practitioner, nutritionist, naturopath, iridologist, and wellness coach. I have got 17 years experience helping people reclaim their mental clarity and physical vitality through natural methods. As a practitioner and trailing spouse who has had to move every 2 to 3 years and practice in different parts of the world, I've seen firsthand how common brain related issues are actually across cultures and environments. We all have issues with foggy thinking, poor concentrations, low energy, and inability to sleep deeply at different times of our life. I've also experienced and seen a lot of cases with that are a bit more complex, like chronic fatigue, mood instability, even digestive issues. So many of these health struggles are rooted in poor brain health. On the flip side, I've also seen amazing transformations when the brain is supported properly. You get clearer thinking, better sleep, more emotional resilience, and even improvements in long term conditions like anxiety, burnout, and autoimmune flare ups. So that's why I created this presentation. In fact, this is a presentation that I have been giving out and been renewing and adjusting through the years, because the very first presentation I did on this one was way back in 2008 when I was living in Korea. So there you go. Um, After how many countries? I think 5 countries of 5 moves. I am sharing this presentation again, and with a more updated set of informations and studies that I'd like to share with you. So I've got a question. I've got a question for everyone, and that is, when was the last time you supported your brain? We think about our heart, our weight, our face, our skin, sometimes our gut health because we feel it. But what about our brain? What about your brain? Our brain is the control center of everything that we do, we feel, we think. But most people don't realize that mental fog, burnout, poor sleep, forgetfulness, even mood swings are signs that the brain is depleted and needs care. So, what have you guys done lately? Share with me, let me know. If you're watching this on a replay, just put your comments below, because more often than not, this is something that people forget about, right? I've had responses like, yep, crossword puzzles, Sudoku, awesome. That's a really, really good one. There are also a lot of other people that do things like exercise, and they eat foods and they say, our superfoods actually good for you. So we're going to be tackling all that here today. Because you know what? The truth is, we upgrade our phones more often than we actually check on our brain, or we upgrade our computers, or we actually spend money on our facials and stuff, but never really look at how our brain health is. So I hope that all changes today after you listen to this webinar, because here we are going to be talking about some powerful, amazing, natural ways to actually give your brain the support it's been craving for. Okay, so is that moving? That's supposed to be a video. I don't know if it's actually moving on your end, because I can't see it move on mine. Let me see. Oops, no, let's go back. Okay, so I just hope that that kind of tries to move itself. Again, first time to actually use this. So now, let's talk about why your brain is so important. And I was saying this is meant to be a video, but I don't know why I'm not seeing it move. It's supposed to be turning around and showing you that there are different parts to our brain. See, your brain isn't just one big blob. It's not just there sitting inside your head, inside your skull. It actually is made up of multiple parts, each part controlling specific and crucial functions. Now, you've got your left hemisphere, which is in charge of logic, language, and analytical thinking. You've also got your right hemisphere, which focuses more on creativity, intuition, emotional expression. But beyond those two, we also have the regions like the frontal lobe, responsible for decision making, personality, temporal lobe, which handles memory and hearing, occipital lobe, which actually manages vision, parietal lobe, which involves sensory input. So, deep inside our brain, we also have a couple of different structures. We have our hippocampus for memory and learning, and we have the amygdala, amygdala, which regulates fear and emotion. So I just got stressed because I actually pronounced it wrong. So it regulates fear and emotion. Now, here's what's important about me actually talking about those different sectors, those different parts of our brain. If your brain is inflamed, nutrient deficient, or overloaded with toxins, even just one part will, or even just one part of your brain not functioning 100% can lead to real problems. Memory loss can happen, poor sleep can happen, low motivation, slow reaction times, anxiety, even trouble focusing. So, ensuring that you support your brain fully so that it actually functions 100% is crucial. When we talk about brain health, we're talking about every aspect of your life, from how you wake up to how you make decisions to how you love, how you remember, and even how you respond to the world around you. You know, a lot of times people say it's not your experiences that matters. It's not the stress around you that matters. It's actually how you respond to stress. And if your brain is not healthy, you're not going to be responding properly because you can't think right, you can't focus right, you can't decide right. Okay? So knowing that and understanding that, isn't that a great reason to actually start working on truly supporting your brain, right? Okay, so I want to share this slide with you because this is a chart that I pulled out from a study that was done previously, and these are some of the most common brain related and neurological conditions affecting people today. So just look at the numbers. Over 5 million living with Alzheimer's, 40 million with anxiety disorders, 18 million with major depression, 2.5 with chronic fatigue, and even 6.4 million children diagnosed with ADHD. And those numbers just keep growing. And this doesn't even cover the millions more struggling silently with things like poor memory, mood swings, brain fog, symptoms that may not always get formal diagnosis but still affect your everyday life. These statistics reflect a much bigger issue. We are living in a world where our brains are overworked, undernourished, and constantly stimulated, yet rarely supported. Let me show you another one. So, this second slide, you'll see conditions that are often thought of as physical, like migraines, pain, stroke, even substance abuse. But many of these are deeply tied to brain function and regulation as well. 28 million people suffer from migraines, 70 million with sleep and wakefulness disorders, wakefulness disorders, 100 million struggling with chronic pain, 20 million facing substance abuse challenges, and over 69 million with balance or vestibular issues. While these numbers can be overwhelming, here's the truth. There's hope because many of these conditions are actually influenced by lifestyle, brain chemistry, and inflammation, all of which we can work on. When we strengthen and nourish the brain with the right foods, herbs, movement, sleep, and care, we can calm the nervous system, we can reduce the symptoms, we can improve function, and in some cases, even prevent or reverse the progression of these issues. I've seen this again and again in my practice. Migraines reduce, sleep improves, anxiety calms, energy returns, mood stabilizes, all when we begin supporting the brain the way it needs to be supported. All when we provide it the tools that needs to be provided so that it can actually do the function that it's meant to do. So, how can we support our brain? All right, just checking what's happening here. All right. Let me know if everything is coming to you clear. Again, as I said, this is coming to me in a very different light. Um, sh- I'd love to know that you're hearing me and the slides are clear. Do type up your comments. I am hoping we are all good. Okay, while you guys are doing that, and I am hoping, yes, all good. Thanks, Annie. And thank you for joining us. All right, so let me continue. So, how can we support our brain? Now, there are a few ways of doing that, very simple ways: a good, healthy diet, good water, nootropics, and supplements, oxygen, fresh air, cardiovascular exercise, and brain exercises. So, understanding the scale of brain related diseases and how deeply they affect every part of our lives, it's really important that we look at this. We look at what it is that our body actually needs. According to a 2022 review published by the National Institute of Health, it's entitled Lifestyle and Brain Health: The Importance of Physical Activity, Diet, and Cognitive Engagement. It actually says that the most effective ways to maintain and enhance brain function across all ages include proper hydration with clean, structured water. The brain is 75 water, right? If you don't provide it the right amount of water, the right kind of water, then it cannot actually um, keep itself healthy and function optimally. It also says that a balanced antioxidant rich diet full of healthy fats, greens, and brain nourishing nutrients is important. It says that oxygen and circulation, meaning we need fresh air, deep breathing, and outdoor time. The fourth is nootropics and brain targeted supplements, which may include herbs, adaptogens, specific micronutrients like omega 3, magnesium, or B vitamins. Cardiovascular is also important. Exercise increases neurogenesis, memory function, and mood. And of course, brain training, whether it's puzzles, Sudoku, learning new skills, memorizing, or meaningful conversations. These are just not nice to have stuff or nice to do habits. They're actually core habits that we have to maintain so that we don't risk lowering our brain function. We don't risk cognitive decline. We don't risk poor memory enhancement, poor mood, and they help prevent diseases like Alzheimer and dementia. And the best part is many of these things are actually free, accessible, and you know probably requiring just a little bit of mindfulness when we actually choose what we're going to be taking. Okay, so I'm going to be going through what we need to actually look at when we are focused on our brain boosting routine, right? So, what is good water? I think that's what's more important, following what the requirements are that we need for our body. Water is the most basic thing that we need. Air is another one. If we don't breathe and we don't drink water, we die. Water is even more important than food because you can't survive without water. You can't survive without food, and we've seen that in a lot of challenges that we've actually created in our groups. So the importance of, I can't, sorry guys, I clicked something here. Okay, the importance of ensuring that you have good healthy water is one of the most important things to look at when you are choosing to drink water. It's not just any water, it's not tap water. Okay, so let's look at what the National Institute of Health actually says when it talks about water, hydration, and health. This 2010 review actually says that one of the most widely referenced, this is one of the most widely referenced pieces on water and hydration, but it actually says that water is a crucial nutrient, and in fact is one of the only in fact it's the only nutrient, not one of the only, but it's the only nutrient that we absolutely cannot live without for more than a few days. And because of that, there is concern about what we should be looking at. Although we know that water is essential, most of our hydration habits today are built on guesswork. outdated surveys, marketing. Okay. In Australia, a lot of the times they say, oh, tap water is actually good for you. But there's a huge gap in understanding what water we should be drinking, how much water we should really need, how hydration affects long-term health, and what kind of water actually best supports performance and healing. This study points out that many people today are getting their fluids from caloric beverages like sodas, coffee, juices, energy drinks, which actually don't hydrate our body the same way. So, if you are, for example, doing your fasting and you're not drinking water, instead you're drinking your coffee, that's not good for you because you actually need to hydrate your system. Coffee dehydrates, so understanding what the drinks do for you is really crucial. But again, it really is about going back to basics. We need to start thinking about water not just as a beverage, but as a vital fuel for the brain. It means asking the right question, not just saying, am I drinking enough? But what kind of water am I drinking? Is it supporting healing, hydration, and brain function? So, let me share with you this next slide. So basically that's all it's saying. It's saying hydration is really crucial, but know what it is. Know what you're drinking. Drinking the right water can actually help boost your system, but not drinking the right water will actually harm you. So what is the right water? There's another amazing study that I like to share here. And do say hello, please, guys. I can only see how many people are watching. I can't see who you are. Okay, so this one here is called the hydrogen rich water reduces inflammatory responses and prevents apoptosis of peripheral blood cells in healthy adults, a randomized double-blind controlled trial. So one of the things that a lot of studies point to is that good water has to be hydrogen rich water. Okay, so this study, which was published in the National Institute of Health's National Library of Medicine and National Center of Biotechnology, was published in July 22, 2020. Okay, so this is quite new. In this randomized double-blind placebo study, they actually studied healthy adults aged 20 to 59 and explored the effects of hydrogen-rich water in those adults. So participants drank 1.5 liters of water for just 4 weeks. Now, 1.5 liters of water is not a huge amount of water. It actually is like, the least amount that you should be drinking. When people say, oh, 8 glasses of water, make sure that you're also measuring your water because ideally you don't want to drink less than 1.5 liters. In fact, in my practice, I always tell people to drink at least 2 liters of water a day. And that depends on how big you are. If you're a bigger, taller person, then you need to actually drink more. Your system needs more. Okay. Anyway, in this study, they found out that in the participants over the age of 30, antioxidant capacity measured as BAP, or that means serum biological antioxidant potential, this increased significantly more in the hydrogen water group than in the plain water group. The hydrogen water group also had less apoptosis or cell death. That's what apoptosis means in their immune cells. So this is quite important. If you're not drinking the right kind of water, you're actually not ensuring that your cells keep growing, keep staying healthy, keep regenerating. Okay, your cells will just die. And yes, our cells do die, but cell death happens sometimes prematurely because of the lack of nutrients and the lack of the right kind of water in our system. Okay, so in this study, they measured PBMCs, the white blood cells that played a big role in fighting inflammation and infection. And that was a really, really good find, okay? That they found that, again, as I said, with the hydrogen water, they had less cell death happening in their system because of that, because it fought inflammation and infection. Another really good thing that's actually the result of this study. So if you want to read the study, you've got that there. Take a screenshot, find it on your computers. And the really good part is that they said gene expression actually changed. RNA sequencing showed that genes responsible for inflammation and this signaling pathway that is responsible for regulating gene expression in responding to inflammation, immune responses, and cellular stress were all down regulated in the hydrogen water group. Okay, so really, really important information there. So this means that water didn't just or isn't just for hydrating better, it is actually used in order to achieve anti-inflammatory effects at the cellular level. So when we talk about good, healthy water being healthy, being healing, being antioxidant, and electrical studies like this are helping us understand why that is really not just a theory, but it's biology. Our biology requires this kind of water to actually rebuild itself. Okay, so really great read. Now, the last one I'm going to share on water here is another great read, and this is on, oops, let me just, yes, okay. This is on oxidative medicine and cellular longevity. So here, this is another important piece of research because it brings the focus directly to the brain. This 2014 study published in Oxidative Medicine and Cellular Longevity looked at the effects of electrochemically reduced water, or ERW, on neuron cells. That is the cells of the brain and nervous system. Our brains are especially vulnerable to oxidative stress and mitochondrial dysfunction, which are the key contributors to aging and neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. So in this study, ERW was shown to scavenge reactive oxygen species, the damaging molecules that contribute to cell breakdown. It reduces hydrogen peroxide induced cell death in brain cell lines. It protects neurons from nitric oxide induced toxicity. And it even suppresses calcium influx and inflammation, both of which play a role in neurodegeneration. Now, what's really powerful is that this protective effect was seen across the different types of neural cells, okay, from PC12 cells, which mimic adrenal and nerve cells, to primary brain cells. So this study actually gives us strong lab-based evidence that ERW, or hydrogen-rich water, has the ability to actively protect brain cells for damage, particularly the kind that accelerates with age. It's one more reason why you really need to be very careful with the type of water that we drink. Okay. Now, there are different kinds of water out there, a lot of different waters in the shops, but we need to know exactly what type of water we need to be drinking. So, from the clinical and lab studies I've shared with you, good healthy water isn't just about quenching thirst. It should be nourishing, meaning it hydrates at the cellular level, supports antioxidant capacity, and delivers essential minerals. It should be healing, which means actively reducing inflammation and protecting ourselves from damage. And it should be brain supportive, meaning it should protect our neurons from oxidative stress, one of the many drivers of brain aging and neurodegeneration. These aren't marketing claims, these are findings backed by peer reviewed science. So, when you pick up your next glass of water, ask yourself, is this water actually good, healthy water for your brain? Be mindful in your choices. Okay? So, I'd like to share with you the tools that I use in my family to actually give me just that. And this is just me sharing. As I said, I'll give you all the tools, I'll give you all the different information. If I can share, there you go. So, the science says hydration means not just drinking water, but ensuring that it's antioxidant water that protects the brain. So the question is, how do we really get this kind of water? So one of our solutions, one of the solutions that I've offered, not just my family, but my patients, is this Kangen water produced by Enagic's this is Enagic's medical grade water ionizers. This is a from a trusted Japanese company with decades of certifications, including ISOs and WQA Gold Seal accreditation. It's been it's been mentioned in books by the American Cancer Institute. It's been mentioned in protocols of Dr. Hiromi Shinya on stomach cancer and avoiding cancers and rebuilding the gut. So this is scientifically proven to actually provide us the healthy water that our brain, that our body needs. Not only does it give us the ability to reduce oxidative stress, okay, to avoid brain aging, cognitive decline, and neurodegenerative disorders. Kangen water is also rich in molecular hydrogen. So remember, we talked about molecular hydrogen being one that actually helps neutralize free radicals, supports cellular integrity and neurological functions. Let me just drink water. My mouth is dry. So Kangen water is also microclustered. It is structured water because it's electrically reduced water. It is structured so that the molecules actually helps in improving cellular hydration. Again, essential for the brain because our brain is 75% water. And even the mildest levels of dehydration actually affects memory, attention, and mood. Lastly, the Kangen machine helps maintain an alkaline internal environment in our system because it reduces systemic inflammation. Okay, and this eases brain fog, fatigue, exhaustion, dry mouth syndrome. The machine also provides multiple pH settings. Kangen water can be used not just for drinking, but also for food preparations, gentle skincare, even providing a toxic-free household cleaning products through the water without any chemicals. It also contributes to a healthier, low stress living environment. So, this is what we use. This is a machine that is backed by scientific research and it's an amazing tool. So, I'm sharing it here so that you can actually have it in your knowledge, in your system, and start thinking about it. Okay. Awesome. So, guys, say hello. I'm seeing more people jumping in, but I don't know who you are. So, say hello. All right. Um, okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to see if I'm seeing the messages. I don't think I'm seeing all the messages, so please just keep typing them in. And if I don't see them here, hopefully I'll see them on YouTube. This is going live on YouTube as well. All right. So, do you know what the best brain foods are? We talked about water. Let's now shift to nutrition because, after all, what we eat truly shapes our brain, right? What do we need to know about the food that we're eating? Let's test your knowledge for a moment. Do you know what the best brain foods are? Or what have you been taking? I was asking earlier, what's the last thing that you've done for your brain? Brain exercises or even brain food. What is the brain food that you guys have tried or have been taking? Hey, Martha. Awesome. Thank you for joining. Okay. So while you're typing up, while you're looking at your answers or thinking about it, let me just also mention that the ones that when we talk about food, the ones that actually have science-backed benefits for memory, mood, and long-term brain health are foods that can be seen actually around our home, that you probably are buying already, that we probably are planting already, but don't know about. So I want to share with you what this is, because your brain is the most energy demanding organ in your body, and it may only weigh 2% of your body weight because of all the water that's in it, but it also uses up to 20% of your daily energy. So if you don't provide your body the right nutrients, you don't get to provide your brain what it needs. Okay, because if you don't do that, your energy levels may seem like it's struggling, but your brain will already be shutting down. Okay, so we really need to feed our brain. I don't even know there is food special for the brain. Yes, there is. Guys, are you seeing the comments come up? Because it's meant to come up without me clicking. So I haven't been clicking everyone else's messages. But yeah, let me know, because I have no clue what you guys are seeing. Okay, so let's go back. I keep getting distracted. Again, my apologies. First time to use this platform for a webinar, and I don't know what you guys are seeing on your end. Not until I rewatch this. So, would love to hear your feedback on that one. Okay, so right foods builds the brain and body. This slide highlights one of the most eye opening studies from the OHSU Brain Institute, led by Dr. Gene Bauman. His research found that elderly individuals with diets rich in vitamins B, C, D, E, as well as omega 3 fatty acids show less brain shrinkage and fewer abnormalities associated with Alzheimer's disease. Now, why is this so important? Our brain is made up of nearly 60% fat, so omega 3s, especially DHA, are critical for brain structure and function. Vitamins like B6, B12, and folate help reduce homocysteine levels, which are linked to cognitive decline. Vitamin D supports nerve growth and neurotransmission, and vitamin E and C act as powerful antioxidants, protecting brain cells from oxidative damage. What this tells us is food is not just fuel, it's also information. Every bite we take can either support brain longevity or work against it. So we want to focus on a diet filled with colorful vegetables and fruits, leafy greens, nuts and seeds, fatty fish like salmon or sardines, or even whole minimally processed foods. We have so many processed foods. We want the least processed foods for our system. The simpler the food, the better. When you pair this healthy eating with proper hydration from structured antioxidant rich water, you give your brain the best shot at aging. Okay, at aging well, sorry, not at aging. You give it the best shot at aging well, and you give it the best shot at anti-aging. You want it performing at its peak no matter what your age. Now, I want to share with you some specific examples. I know we've mentioned some there already, but this is from a study again that I've found. And here it shows you that powerful brain foods matter, especially as we age. Because in this study in 2012 by Harvard, it actually revealed that women who regularly consume flavonoid rich berries experience a delay in memory decline of up to 2.5 years. If you can extend your memory, if you can delay memory decline, that is amazing. So my mom every morning eats her berries, eats her strawberries. Mama, alternate. You got to put blueberries and blackberries. Alternate your berries, okay? If you live in a country where berries aren't available, yes, sure, you can buy them frozen. You can buy, imported berries. But I always prefer that you eat what is local to you so that they're fresher, they have their nutrients. The older berries are, the more they've been stored and stuff, that actually affects the nutrient levels in those berries. But what I want to share is that pineapple is actually a berry. So in tropical countries like Fiji, our berry is pineapple. Now we do get strawberries as well. So the Philippines is the same. You've got your pineapples, but you also get strawberries, especially from Baguio. So when they're local, when they've traveled the least amount of distance, when they've been stored the least amount of hours, that's the best source for your nutrients. So choose those berries. Okay. Berries don't just taste good, they're amazing antioxidants. They protect brain cells, they reduce inflammation, they support the flow of signals between neurons. So they're an amazing way to keep your brain staying young. Okay. Now, with fats, your brain is made up of 60% fat. So it makes sense when we say that fats are essential for mental clarity, emotional balance, memory. Omega 3s, especially EPA and DHA, are crucial. You'll find them in salmon, mackerel, trout, sardines, especially here in Fiji. We've got fresh fish. So if you are able to buy fresh fish, don't buy frozen fish. Okay? Always opt for the fresher options. If you are if you do not eat fish, you can also get fats from flaxseed oil, pumpkin seed, walnuts, soybeans, avocado. Okay, these are fatty foods that actually contain healthy fats. These fats help build brain cell membranes, reduce neuroinflammation, and have been linked to a lower risk of depression, Alzheimer, and even anxiety. So remember, food is not just fuel for your body, it's fuel for your brain. Choosing the right foods consistently can make a real difference in how you think, feel, and function over time. This next one is really important. Another good one for kids this time. So, this is more into specificity. It's a specific condition, ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity syndrome, disorder rather. This study talks about how diet has long been studied in relation to ADHD symptoms, especially in children. And there's growing evidence that what we eat can impact behavior, focus, and mental clarity. This 2012 paper from the Journal of Pediatrics, titled The Diet Factor in Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, outlines several dietary strategies that have shown promising results. First, sugar restricted diets, additives and preservative free diets. Remember, sugar is it's like a drug to our brain. It actually creates hyperactivity in our system. It becomes a drug where when we run out of sugar in our system, there is such a big low. So avoiding sugars in our diet is crucial. Now, our fruits have sugars. Natural sugars are a better option. Okay. Second, oligo-antigenic diets, which eliminate multiple potential food triggers, are crucial. Omega-3 fatty acid supplementation, again mentioned here. One of the most interesting findings is around omega-3, which again shows up because of how it supports our brain function. See, if you're in places where it's difficult to get fish, fish oils are a great alternative for you to actually take. Now, fish oil, when you buy them over the counter, have two components. It's got its EPA and it's got its DHA component. The DHA component of fish oil is the component that actually supports brain function, brain health. The EPA component of fish oil is actually one that supports weight loss. So when you are buying omega 3s over the counter, take a note of that one. Always opt for a good high DHA component. If you're trying to lose weight, then make sure that you have a balanced amount of the DHA and the EPA component, because your brain still plays a big role in the way you lose your weight and in the way your mindset is after your weight loss. Some people become very depressed when they lose their weight because To lose weight, they cut on important foods and nutrients. And without the nutrients, again, your brain's not supported, your brain can't think well, your mood is affected, and it spirals down. Okay? Supplementation has been associated with improved attention and reduced hyperactivity in some individuals with ADHD. So, look at supplementation if you have friends or family that have ADHD. This paper also revisits the additive free diets, which talks about removing artificial colors and preservatives. A lot of our foods that we buy have labels. Look at the labels, look at what the food additives are on the labels, and understand what the labels say. Finally, it also talks about the contrast between the Western style diet, which is high in refined sugar, unhealthy fats, associated with more ADHD symptoms, versus a healthy ADHD free diet, which is rich in fiber, folate, omega 3 fatty acids, and foods that actually help support better focus, behavior, and emotional regulation. So, whether you're looking at aging brains or young brains, developing minds, the message is the same. What we feed our brain matters. What we feed our brain dictates whether or not we will have a healthy, happy brain, a healthy, happy life, or a undernourished brain that actually can't function, can't focus. Okay. Oops. What is this? You have omega 2, 3, and omega 3 on the slide. They are different. Oh, my slide. Sorry. Let me see the slide. Sorry. That's not supposed to say omega 23. It's supposed to say omega 3 supplementation. Apologies for that. Wrong typing. Thank you for finding it. Omega 3, not omega 23. Okay. Sorry. All right. Now let's go to, let's summarize all this. with with what we've just seen, some powerful examples of foods that we should be taking, we now know, or I hope you now know, how specific foods actually directly impact the brain. How flavonoids in berries delay memory decline, how essential fatty acids in oily fish and seeds actually support cognition, mood, focus. But here's the thing, it's not about following a perfect diet, it's actually about being mindful, having a purposeful meal. Okay? A functional diet goes beyond basic nutrition. It's designed to protect your brain from decline, boost mental clarity and memory, support mood, balance emotions, help children and adults manage conditions like ADHD, dementia, reduce inflammation, oxidative stress, which are linked to neurological issues. So I like this plate that I have here on this slide, because on this plate you will see real examples of a functional diet: avocados, nuts, eggs, healthy fats and brain building nutrients, the leafy greens, the berries packed with antioxidants and flavonoids, cherries and cucumber seeds, and whole foods. So it's about really not just eating clean, not just eating simple, but having a strategy in the way you eat, having what we call a strategic nourishment, mindfully choosing what foods you put in front of you, because every bite can be a step towards better focus, sharper thinking, and a healthier future. So, my question to you is, are you just eating? Are you going to just continue eating, or are we going to start eating with intent? Right? Mindfully choosing what we put in front of us. So I promised you we'll talk about water, we'll talk about food, We'll talk about herbs, nootropics. So let's go into nootropics. Unless you guys have any questions, do type your questions. Let me just drink my water. Okay. It's a lot of talking with the slides. Again, people think that when you want to build up your brain, you will just have to choose one herb, choose one nutrient, and it's okay. But it isn't that. With anything that you want to improve with your body, it is a series of decisions that you have to make that will actually impact what that body function will be like. Okay. I shall eat more avocado from now on. Yes, eat more avocado, but more importantly, eat more of everything that's actually good for you. Okay. All right. So let us go to nootropics. Natural brain boosters or nootropics, these have been used for centuries and are now gaining even more attention in modern science. First up is my favorite, ginkgo biloba. Ginkgo biloba is this amazing leaf from this tree that has been in existence since, they said, during the dinosaur era. It's been alive since then. It's been part of traditional Chinese medicine for more than 4,000 years. It's especially well known for improving blood circulation, which is really important when we talk about delivering oxygen and nutrients to the brain. Without good circulation, you can't get those nutrients going to where they need to go. Better circulation means better memory, sharper focus, and enhanced cognitive performance. Ginkgo is also being studied for its potential in slowing cognitive decline in conditions like Alzheimer's. In fact, in a lot of um, alternative medicine clinics, ginkgo biloba is used to actually help out with this condition. Its antioxidant and anti-aging properties make it a go-to herb for long-term brain health and even mood support, especially in older adults. You can plant a ginkgo tree if you have winter where you live. I had a ginkgo tree that I planted in Canberra. The leaves go kind of yellow in winter and then it goes a nice green color the rest of the year. And you do need only a few of those leaves to make yourself some tea. Warning, it is a huge tree. A huge tree with a lot of roots. So if you don't have a big space or a big backyard, don't grow a ginkgo tree. So that's just warning. Um, Next up is turmeric. Again, turmeric is one of those amazing herbs that we keep hearing about, heard it so much during our pandemic. But turmeric is an amazing antioxidant, again, used in Ayurvedic medicine. It is a powerful antioxidant, amazing inflammatory and antioxidant properties. Curcumin is the active compound of turmeric, and curcumin can cross the blood brain barrier, which is huge because it allows it to directly reduce inflammation in the brain. Studies have shown that curcumin may help boost memory, improve mood, and even support the prevention of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer. So just take note, curcumin is best taken with a pinch of black pepper if you're taking it on its or like raw as food, as tea. Um, because when you add it with a pinch of black pepper, it actually helps dramatically increase absorption of curcumin. While both these botanical and ancient remedies are been well studied, these are actually stuff that you can get, plant, and benefit from because both of them actually help us support focus, memory, mood, long-term and cognitive resilience in natural ways. Turmeric grows anywhere. Okay. If you have winter, then maybe just cover it up just a little bit, put it in your greenhouse or cover it with like your netting because turmeric grows very easily. Now, there are different kinds of turmeric. There is the spring turmeric and the, I think, winter turmeric, if I'm not mistaken. And both of them have different benefits that they give you. One of the turmerics that I use is the one from Enagic, which is called Ukon. And I'm going to share with you that turmeric in another of my webinars. But when you take herbs that you don't grow, make sure that they've been grown organically, because if they weren't grown in an organic garden organically, then you are ingesting the pesticides, the fertilizers, and what have you that I put in those plants. Okay, so I'm a big oh, I forgot the term. I'm very big in planting your food and your medicine. It's not difficult to plant them. Just plant them. If you don't know, some excuses are, well, I don't have the seeds. I don't have. Go to your nursery. You can find these foods over there. Okay, they're really amazing and easy to grow. Okay, the next two that I love are, there you go, Brahmi and Gotukola. Brahmi, also known as Bacopa, is actually an amazing herb. It is an Indian medicine Ayurvedic herb. They have very tiny flowers, and they actually can grow either in your garden or in a like water pond. Okay, some people have it in like a water pond. It grows very beautifully. Some people have it in their bathrooms, but you need to have the sunlight coming to the bathroom. Okay, but because it doesn't mind getting wet a lot, Brahmi is a really good one to have in your bathroom. It will just be a flowing plant. So you have like the whole tropical island Bali setting in your bathroom happening there. Gotu kola needs to be in the garden. It's a little bit like violets. If you've seen violets grow in the garden where they just scatter like grass, gotu kola is that way. So gotu kola is a tropical herb. It grows in Fiji. It still grows in Canberra, but it does love the heat. So during winter, I make sure that something covers my gotu kola plant so that it doesn't die. It doesn't matter if the soil is cold, or if the soil gets cold, as long as it doesn't get covered by frost or snow. Definitely not snow. Okay, so um, getting excited about these herbs. I love these herbs. I always try and plant all these herbs in my garden. So going back, Brahmi is especially helpful in people dealing with ADHD, attention deficit disorder. It's a great herb that calms anxious people. It helps supports learning, so memory, enhances memory. It's an amazing tonic for stress. Brahmi works by boosting the brain's ability to adapt to stress. So Brahmi is what we call an adaptogen. It is now being researched for its potential, again, in managing Alzheimer's symptoms and age-related cognitive decline. But again, in a lot of alternative medicine practices and clinics, it's already used for those purposes. On the other side, there is gotokola. It's a leafy herb used widely in traditional Chinese medicine. Gotokola is also a leafy herb that's used a lot in places like India and Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, we have the kolakanda that uses gotokola. I love enjoying that when I was over there. While it's famous for wound healing and circulation, it's also recognized for its brain boosting effects. Gotu kola helps improve memory, reduces anxiety and depression, and promotes clarity and calm. It's often called the herb of longevity because of its rejuvenating effects on both the body and the mind. So, together, both these herbs show how nature offers us gentle yet powerful supports for the brain, and not just for boosting memory, but also for illness prevention and boosting our emotional well-being every day. So again, love those herbs. Oops, sorry. Next, we are running out of time. Let me just give you this last two slides. bear with me. I apologize. I really don't like going over time, so I'm going to try and be quick. But these two herbs are really important because these two botanicals have impressive brain boosting and protective benefits: St. John's wort and ashwagandha. St. John's wort has long been used as a natural remedy for depression, and research shows its benefit extends into protecting brain health as we age. St. John's wort helps in influencing neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which play critical roles in mood regulation. But more recently, scientists have found that St. John's wort may also help slow down the progression of Alzheimer's disease by reducing the formation of amyloid plaques in the brain. So, this is a key hallmark of the disease. Now, ashwagandha, sorry, St. John's wort, you don't normally plant this in your garden, well, especially in Australia, because it is actually considered a toxic herb. It's considered also a pest. St. John's wort is something that is not great for cattle and sheep, so you can't have it in your garden. I do get my St. John's wort when I do bushwalk. So go bushwalking, go start finding your herbs through mountain climbs and what have you, because amazing way of actually getting this beautiful herb. The next one is ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is an amazing adaptogen in Ayurvedic medicine. It's best known for its ability to combat oxidative stress, which is one, again, of the biggest contributors of cognitive decline. It supports brain's ability to regenerate nerve connections, especially the dendrites and axons that help neurons send and receive information. So, together, these herbs are not only calming and protective, they also support memory, mood, balance, long term brain resilience, especially when used as part of a daily wellness routine. So, ashwagandha, grown in India, grown in the tropics, um, and it is a tree. You can maintain it as a shrub, and I have that in Canberra. Sorry, not the tropics. It grows. It almost grows anywhere. I don't think winter kills it. It can stop bearing fruit for a bit, but it doesn't really lose its leaves altogether. Okay, so now that you know that, my top six herbs. There are more herbs for brain health, but those are my favorite herbs. I never run out of any one of those herbs in my practice. If I didn't blur my background, you'll actually see it there behind me. I have them as extracts, I have them as dry leaves. You can have them as tea. And having these herbs as tea is usually the best way, especially if you're doing it on your own, because you can't overdose with tea. Um, and But they can be taken as medicine, and that's how we create it as herbalists. So let's summarize. We've explored powerful nootropics like ginkgo biloba, turmeric, brahmi, gotukola, St. John's wort, and ashwagandha. All these are time-tested herbs used for centuries to support memory, focus, mood, and cognitive longevity. I made sure that you only got herbs that have been tested. They're not, none of these are new herbs, okay? What's incredible is that many of these aren't just supplements that you buy in a bottle. They're plants. As I said, you can grow them. So grow them in your garden. Imagine stepping outside and harvesting your own brain supportive herbs, right? They're fresh, they're potent, they're free from additives. So they're organic. When you plant your food and your medicine, you're not only improving your health, you're creating sustainability, resilience, and connection to nature. Really, really important. It's a return to how your ancestors lived. It's back to eating simply, and it's a powerful step toward long-term brain health. So whether it's a pot of turmeric on your windowsill, a gotu-kola patch in your backyard, a brahmi coming out in your bathroom, or your berries that we talked about earlier, plant your food and plant your medicine. Make sure that you're more proactive in in how you're supporting your body, your brain, and longevity. So I'm going to end this now. We have hit our 1 hour mark, actually went over. Join me next week on part two, and let's connect. Follow me on YouTube at Michelle T. Jones, or on Facebook and Instagram at Michelle Marie Coach. I'd love to hear your comments. Please put them on any of those platforms. Let me know. The recording of this one will be on YouTube. So if you want to share this with your friends and family, please do so. And again, YouTube channel is at Michelle T. Jones. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Annie, Connie, Martha, Bernard. Thank you, Anne. Can't see the other names. I'm sorry. I'm just seeing the eyes and I'm seeing who's watching. Again, two platforms here, so I really don't know. But thank you. This is my first StreamYard webinar, and I will let you know what I think about it, perhaps in my next episode. Have a great day, everyone. Afternoon, evening, wherever you're joining me from. Again, this is Michelle coming to you from Suva in Fiji. Bye.